afternoon YouTube, welcome back to Warwick Road. It's been since May last year I think I last posted a video. One thing or another, lovely summer, family, holidays, work. One of the big things was that watching so many videos I decided to make some changes, but made so many changes and not being able to get up here in the summer. Came to September and half of what you're about to see was all ripped up and I'd started again. So what I'm going to do is give you a quick layout overview. It's still a bit too cold to run trains. I've just been running them downstairs on the rolling road. So I've got a few locos since May last year, which I will show because there's hundreds of reviews on the locos I bought, so I shall just do running shots of them. But what I'm going to do is show you what I've done and where I plan to go for this year. So sit back, hope you enjoy it. Thanks to everybody that's still subscribed and stayed with the channel, and hopefully I'll have far more content this year to show you. So we start here. This was a major place for derailments. Trains would run for like 4 or 5 minutes, come around here and derail. So last year I had a look because I was trying to do a running session with all 4 tracks running. Could only get a couple of trains running, so I had a look at this. It was pretty uneven. I think a lot of that was the heat. The track was buckling with days here, 4 or 5 days in the 30s where it was impossible to come up here and the track suffered. So I've had to get the track relayed and with a lot more spacing to allow for a little bit of expansion. So what I did was relayed these 3 outer tracks, dug the whole lot up and started again. Wanted to redo the middle part because it looked like a rainforest when I'd done it before, so this is going to be quite sparse, tufts of grass. Dug everything up, so the challenge was to put everything back. But what I have found out is online, a company called Filed 3D Designs made this cable trunking, which is perfect for what I wanted, because they do curved sections, T sections, 45-degree sections, and sections where you fit the lids on so you can show as the real thing missing or dislodged cable trunking. So I'm going to give them a shout out because it's a really great product and the service you get from them is fantastic. So this is the company, Filed 3D Designs. Do quite a few bits for 00, N-Gauge and TT, but for this, for me, it's perfect. So I'm going to order some more because where I've ripped up the track I've got a lot more cable trunking to do. So moving on, this housing seam will stay, but the major change has been the retaining walls have gone from being like a plaster mould design where the bricks were far too big to these MDF versions made by Bunter's Yard. So that was another thing because the plaster got brittle, I guess with the heat from the summer, and I was getting cracks and bits falling off, so I decided to change the whole lot. It had to come up anyway so I could relay all the track under the scenic section, because this is the most important section because of getting everything up, not wanting to get in there and have to keep cleaning track or picking up trains that derailed. So that took several weeks to get that all done. It's not finished yet, as you'll see, but this is the start of it. A bit of a challenge getting the curbs in, but that just needs painting now. So that's going to stay the same. The only thing is I'm going to put proper street lighting in now, which I'll cover in a minute. But all this is going to stay. This section here is going to be obviously cut down to fit, because I really do like this scene with these five houses. So coming around, apologies, a bit of a dumping ground at the moment, Network rail yard stays, but I've removed the warehouse because it just didn't work there, and made the garage forecourt that little bit bigger. So this stays. However, I've made some changes. So I think I watched a couple of videos in the summer. People buying stuff off of Temu. I'd never used them before, but I saw these lights. They're 3-volt lights and they're absolutely perfect. I'd wanted to do street lights, but the amount I needed, I didn't want to be standing there continually fitting resistors. But I then watched a video from a guy called Jeff of Pride Parkway, who had a device that you could actually lock it to 3 volts and then just wire everything up in series, which I've done. So all these lights work 3 volts, which is perfect. So there's major change here. So I've changed the road bridge because again it looked ridiculous how it was before. It's too steep. Need a mountain goat to get up it. So I've made a bigger bridge with a much more realistic ramp down to the lower level. Where that was just rubbish, I've now made that the station car park. Sorry for the wobble of the camera. That at the back there is just a sort of like infill. I just need to fit it in and drop it down. But the lighter green is off again off a Temu. I think it's about £1.45. It's meant to be ivy. And I think it's a pretty good representation because I can see nothing else, and let's face it, ivy's everywhere, that gives that effect. It's really great. So I'll order some more of that, because as we know, ivy gets everywhere. So again, the bridge will be lit, the town will be lit. I've changed some of the buildings, so that's the big department store. So I've got 3 of them to mimic a big in London main store, so Marks and Spencer's. So the station stays the same, but I've just moved the building. It was further down the layout to behind the station. We were struggling to find something credible. That's still got to be fixed. It would fit behind the station. Again, those lights are all lit. The problem with the station lights I had before was that they were 3D printed and very, very fragile. So every time you touched them they snapped. I accidentally knocked them. But what that meant was that I couldn't get any replacements. So I've gone with these. Again, these are Temu lights. I've just painted them. So nothing's really changed here other than the street lights, which will all be wired into little circuits. So nothing's changed here other than the street lights. All going to stay the same, just a few more people and a few more vehicles. Same at the back here. Just the street. This fence is going to go because that's just printed on paper. But now people are doing like the better, like laser cut versions. Or I might just put a proper palisade fencing or something down there. The change here was that this was just a flat piece of land and it was filled with trees and it had just become to look a bit of a mess. So I've changed it. So it's almost like a little bit of ground that would take water, storm drain from the town that runs through here. So I've got this harbour piling there, so it will be all overgrown with a little bit of water coming through there. So I'm just working out what is the best form of water, because I used water, I can't remember who the manufacturer was, and it's great for a while, but with the summer and the heat, it's cracked. So I've got to redo it, which isn't great. And here, this is just, finish this a couple, not halfway through it, but a road bridge for a more credible entry into the container yard, because the road I've got currently is far too small and it wouldn't really hold heavy lorries. So that's going to come here and then swing left where that bit of cork is into the container yard, and this road will continue on across the crossing, and that would go up to what would be the housing estate and the golf course. So one purchase I can show you is I picked up these, or this set, Revolution trains, and it's the car carriers. I've never seen them, I don't think they come round where I live, but it is really impressive. The quality of this is unbelievable. I've never had anything from Revolution trains before, but this is absolutely superb. So I've got a couple of DB Schenker 66s to run with this. So I've got one set, another one's due, and then I'll probably get one more, so I'll have like 15 wagons, which for this size of the layout will be plenty. But considering it's, you know, very basic, the underframe detail is excellent, as is the gangways, really well done. This is third and fourth radius curves, and so far just pulling it round by hand, because I've not been running anything. No pinch points, no coming off the track or anything, so lovely kit. Really pleased I got it. I wasn't sure, but I'm really pleased I got this. I think I bought was these. These are the refuse bins that sit on top of your, or my, container flats. So these are from West Hill Wagon Works. I think I've got 8 of them. While the Acuras go, I've got their version coming out. I've got so many of these container flats, I thought it was far more cost effective to try this. So all they've got to be done is, some of them have got to be weathered, some labels or decals put on them, and these are good to go. So for this bridge, going around here, this gap, I'm unsure what to put in there. Don't know yet, but I'm not going to continue with these industrial units, that will be too much. So I may just get an old factory or something different. So all of this section here hasn't changed. I've just relayed the track. Got to be ballasted, weathered, but this is going to change. So the signal box moved. I think it's a better location than where I was, by the other end of the container yard, opposite the station. So the biggest change is the station. I think I must have worked this about 4 or 5 times. So gone with the Pico platform sides instead of the paper. I'd used Metcalf, I've used scale seams, but it just discolours, warps, the carded warp. So I've used some MDF to do the platform bases, because obviously I needed a thicker base in order to secure the lights. So this is all going to be lit up, which I think will look quite good. But because they are all low relief flats, I'm not sure I'm going to have the ability to put any lights in there. I'd have to rebuild all those kits, which I might do at some point. Here you can get a better view. That's the building there. So these are all cut down by one level because they were too high, so they were butting up against the ceiling. So I've just done 2-storey flats there. So now I've got to, in those little balconies, a couple of them I'm going to put some plants, crap, bikes, whatever in there. Then decided to do, instead of just cable trunking all the way around, do like the cable hangers and some cabling, which will go to a load of relay boxes there. So some of that cable trunking is going to go for the filed cable trunking, because then I can show much more of the open topped cable trunking with the wires, and then have a small crew there obviously doing some wiring work. So what I'm also going to do here is this point is going to go for these longer pico points. It looks much better and the trains run much better. So I'm going to get rid of this. So I've already got the point there, which obviously will change the geometry going into the container yard, which is fine. I'll just dig up that plaster and redo it. As you can see, as we go further along, this is a real mess down here. Hadn't really got round to doing anything down here. Up the top here, nothing has changed. Still got my classic car garage and a small hand car wash. I really like that scene, quite a common scene. The American diner and a leisure park, well, that's going to stay, just with the addition now of some lighting, and I want to get like a big flashy sign for the retail park. This will stay exactly as is, just obviously with the ratio lights come down, and the same again, street lights. And the beauty of having lights on the platform is that all this under here, there's always going to be some detail, people, signs and everything will be lit, rather than me having to stick LEDs. I did put LEDs under there, but it really didn't, it just wasn't the same. So with individual platform lights it will look a lot better. As you can see, a lot of work to do. Post office depot is staying, obviously I've got my buses there, and then I'm going to extend that scenic board right up to the end there to include my warehouse that was next to the car dealership, keeping that. And I may do something with that bus garage, not sure yet. But as you can see, it's a real mess up here because I just haven't had any time. And I got quite frustrated because I couldn't get anything done. Knew what I wanted to do, but was ordering stuff, piles of stuff downstairs to do the work, but no time, or the weather too hot to do anything. So another view heading up towards the other end. I actually like the idea of the bridge there, just to break the scene up a bit. And then just to decide what to do with that gap. So I'm going to leave it there now. As you can see, there is an awful lot to do, more than I'd originally planned. But I guess that's the fun of it, to keep going. I've got a lot of junk in here I've got to get rid of as well. Boxes and bits and pieces that I keep for the sake of keeping them. So lots of work to do, but hopefully it just shows that the layout is still going and the plans. I think this part's going to be quite tricky to get that across. Suitable clearance for all those tracks and then into there. So taking it slowly. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and just means at the back there I've got a bigger gap to fill in. But it might just be trees, I don't know yet. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. Any questions, please feel free to add them in the comment. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you to all my subscribers who've stuck with me. Obviously it's been a while since you've heard from me, but I'm still here, still cracking away. But obviously lots been done, but nothing that is worth showing on a video. So until next time, I hope that weather dependent, if it warms up a bit, I should be able to get the track cleaned and get some locos running, because I've got some new locos that have been run on the rolling road, but I want to have a running session with them on the layout. So until then, thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon. Thank you very much. Bye bye.